Hello guys, welcome to today's episode of Trackside with Tom. I am literally trackside today. We are at Mechanicsville, Iowa. There was a eastbound stack train that stopped here on the east side of Mechanicsville. The crew got off, they must have ran out of hours, and they got on the train with the second eastbound stacker, and they're on their way, I'm sure, to the hotel in Clinton, or back home to Clinton as it is. So we are going to do a live chase today of this eastbound stacker as he proceeds across the Clinton sub. So welcome everybody to today's version of Trackside with Tom. We are literally trackside. It is a beautiful day out today, and I feel like it was too good of a day to not pass up and do some rail fanning in person. So we are out here chasing this eastbound UP stacker. I haven't seen the rear of the train yet, just the head end. But he's got the 7859. He's got the 9104 and 9815. 9815 is a newer locomotive. It's got the, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's got the flag, the side nose flag there on the, along the side. He's got, oh, he's doing 45 miles an hour or so. Oh, I need to fall back a little bit. I'm too far forward. You guys can't actually see. There we go. But yeah, 9815 is a newer GE locomotive. The 9104 is an SD70, and then the 7859, it's saying, is a C45 ACCTE. So take that for what it's worth, actually. But we're pacing him. We're just starting into the curves here, a little bit east of Mechanicsville, and we're pacing him at a solid 52 miles an hour or so. You'll have to excuse me as we go along. I'm eating my lunch here at the same time also. Got a couple of slices of pizza from the Clarence Sump stop when I was there earlier today. So make sure and check them out. So the tracks are splitting away from the highway here. We're gonna motor on ahead and hopefully stay ahead of this guy until he gets to Stanwood, and then be able to chase him for a while again. It's an eastbound train headed towards Chicago. And I don't know for sure what the train was that the crew got off of, but it was definitely another container train. The train that's parked at Mechanicsville was parked on Main 2. This guy is running on Main 1 right now. Although it would not surprise me to see him cross over somewhere up here in the future. Looks like we got 21 people online. I know we went online a little bit early today, but I couldn't pass up the opportunity. We had this perfect chance of having a train to chase as I was literally at Mechanicsville, so it worked out perfect. So we're gonna chase these guys east for a ways, and then hopefully find a westbound to chase back the other direction. That'd be ideal anyway. I'm also going to watch the highway we may see a crew van out here at some point, bringing a fresh crew out to dog catch that second eastbound and pull him into Clinton as well. So we'll be watching for a crew van to see if that happens. But otherwise, we're just about up to, pardon me, we're ahead of him again. We're just about up to Stanwood here. And he is just running neck and neck with me right now. I'm doing 64. And he may actually be passing me. This is probably a Z train, 70 mile an hour Z train if I had to guess. So we're almost certainly going to lose him when we get to pardon me, when we get into Clarence, we're almost certainly going to lose him. But right now, he's got to pull ahead of us as we're going through Stanwood. And then we'll have a really nice angle for a pacing shot on the east side of town here. At least for a little ways anyway. So yes, anyway, welcome to Trackside with Tom. I see we got 30 people online with us today, so thanks everyone for checking in. I think he's knocked his speed down as well. This is interesting. He's slowed down. I think he may be crossing over. I think he's slowed down to 40 to go through the crossovers here at Stanwood. I can't tell that for sure from the side angle, but it seems likely that could be the case. We're gonna keep blasting on ahead here, because I know that once he clears the crossovers, he will pull back ahead of us. And yeah, I would say I'm knocked my speed down here a little bit. I'm definitely pacing him at 40. So I'm gonna get out ahead of him a bit here, and then we'll do a roll by of the whole train at Clarence, because by that time he'll, well, maybe not, I don't know, maybe we could pace him and do a roll by. So how is everyone doing today? How are you guys feeling about this beautiful warm weather? I know that here in eastern Iowa, at least, we've had a couple of 60-degree days. It's been just wonderful outside. And I, for one, have really been itching to get out and do some rail fanning in this nice weather, so definitely taking advantage of it today. So bear with me, guys. I know you can't see the train right now. I'm up ahead of it. It's gonna pull ahead and pass us, but I want to do that where we can take a nice long shot at a roll by east of Clarence, which means that I need to get through Clarence ahead of him. If you guys are watching the Clarence webcam, you're actually going to see me go zipping by there in the not too distant future. And then we'll have a nice long roll by of this guy as he passes us at track speed. For those of you that are just joining us, we picked this guy up. There's an eastbound that he's out of view of the camera right now, but he's literally just hanging out in my blind spot right behind me. And we're going to get east of Clarence and then do some pacing along Highway 30 with him for a ways. And we'll check out what he's got for containers loading on the train. He stopped and picked up a crew that was theoretically out of hours at Clarence, or at Mechanicsville, off of another eastbound. And attention, we can certainly see if there's anything coming westbound past. If you want to throw that in the comments as we go along, I definitely appreciate the information. Although apparently I'm getting a lot of reflection on my phone. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to make it out. But we're in Clarence right now, just getting ahead of him. And once he starts accelerating, he'll be passing us on the flat here east of Clarence. Side, I guess, east of Clarence. Oh, let's get we gotta knock down a little. Now we're in the 25. Gosh, I'm hoping I can get all the way through town and let this guy catch up with us just east of town here and then pace him for a ways. That's my plan anyway. We'll see how it works out. All right, here we go. There's that Rock Island caboose that got moved to Clarence a couple months ago. Still under some kind of renovation there, but unfinished. All right, Clarence elevator's coming up on the left. Nope, the gates are already down. And the train is coming up alongside of us. If you guys are watching, I'm driving through the field of vision of the Clarence webcam right now, so about 30 seconds from now you'll see that. So I'm doing about 45. He's definitely coming up to pass me here on the left. You're going to see his nose coming into view here very, very shortly. So there is the UP 9815 again. I think that's listed as a CW44AC. So if I pick up the pace, he's doing about 60, maybe a hair over 60. All right, and now that we've got this guy in our sights, we're seeing Schneider containers, Swift intermodal. What else are we seeing here? There's some UMAX, CR England, getting off on the rumble strips on the side of the road there. There's a CSX intermodal with the boxcar logo. Ooh, those CR Englands are temp stacks, so those are refrigerated boxcar, or refrigerated containers. That's interesting. And then EMP, which is the UP's container pool, That's their proprietary container pool that they have. Prime Inc. Intermodal, that's coming up as well. Yeah, there's actually quite a few. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 refrigerated intermodal cars, or refrigerated containers here on the head end of this train. Ooh, he's coming down on an approach. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, he is. So he's still on main 1. He did not cross over as I expected, but he's coming down on an approach. There's a track inspector. Probably waiting to set on after this guy rolls by. Looks like a track inspector's truck we just drove by. So there must have just been a slow over those crossovers. I thought that they knocked it down to 40 to crossover, but he is still on main 1. And on a straight approach, I would expect him to be slowing down. The next set of signals are absolutes at the West Loudon crossovers. Yeah, he is losing speed now. So, pardon me while I have a bite to eat while we're riding along, consuming my lunch and enjoying some rail fanning trackside today. I wonder if he had a double bubble or an approach diverging, and I just missed the bottom aspect. It was definitely a yellow on top, but if he was crossing over, he'd have yellow over yellow, and then this would be probably diverging clear, or maybe a diverging approach. But I can't make out this signal aspect at all that we're coming up to. I can see that it's all red on main 2, so I'm sure of that. Let's see if we can tell if he's crossing over here. Is he hitting that turnout? Yeah. So now he is crossing over. He's literally crossing over from 2 to 1 right here. You can see that the engines bounce a little bit as they go over the frogs. That's what you're seeing. So now he is. So that must have been an approach diverging, and now he's got the diverging clear to go ahead and track speed through the turnouts. He's knocking it back down to about 40. I think they're 40 mile an hour turnouts. And we're going to accelerate, get ahead of him a little bit here. We'll see that we've got another track vehicle up ahead on main 1, it looks like. I don't know how well you guys are going to be able to make it out, but it looks like it may be a material truck over on main 1, or maybe even a brand truck. I don't know. He's got a boom arm. I think... Oh, no, I think those are welders. Now that I see that, I think those are welders. They were replacing a rail. Interesting. All right, well, we're going to blast through Loudon now to get ahead of this guy again. So it'll be interesting to see, because the welders obviously have track and time between Loudon and Calamus. which means there may be another train, maybe an eastbound, waiting at Calmus or Grand Mound to cross over and head the other direction. All right, so we're getting back out ahead of this guy a little bit. I don't know if he's done crossing over yet, but he is definitely catching up on us once again. It's going to be a little harder to see with the trees. The Loudon siding is clear, which is helpful. And if you can hear the roar of the locomotives, they're pulling up alongside me. I'm doing 45 and he's passing me pretty handy. And as he comes back into view here, we're going to do the full roll by here between Loudon and Wheatland. That middle locomotive, that EMD, is definitely putting out some exhaust. All right, so I'm doing 55, and he is passing me. He's probably doing 60 to 65 now. And we're going to let him finish passing us so that we can see all of the remainder of his train as he proceeds on eastward. So we got some EMP containers. We've got some hub group that we're seeing here. What else do we got? Prime Inc. Intermodal, EMP, UMAX. Pacer stack train, all domestics, all 53 footers, CSX intermodal, there's another Schneider container, some more hub groups, another EMP. Usually the call sign of these Z trains, the identifier that makes them easy to pick out, is when you can get the all right, so there's two more of those CR England reefer cars, and then there's a Martin reefer container, another so there's all kinds of refrigerated perishable. And now I see those prime intermodals. Those are, well, some of them are refrigerated as well. There's actually quite a bit of refrigerated containers on this train. It's very interesting. Hey, 52 people watching. Hey, thanks for tuning in, guys. Somebody got impatient, decided to pass us. I'm only doing 56, so it doesn't surprise me. And we got some single stacks back here. So these single stacks exist probably because of some tunnel or bridge clearance that they couldn't do double stacks, and they just get added to another train. All right, EMP, UMAX, another CSX car, container with the boxcar logo on it. Then a CSX container with the older CSX logo on it. All right, so now we're coming up to a pretty neat spot here on the east side of Wheatland, which is the town we're driving through right now, where we're actually going to go over the railroad tracks. Oh, and there, we just got to the trailers on flat car on the rear of the train here. Yeah, it looks like there are 5 trailers, 6 maybe. It looks like there's 2 shorties there. No, that's just a long one. There's 5 trailers on the end of this train, which is what makes it easy to identify as a Z train. So as we're continuing on, I think you can just barely kind of see it, but the signals are not lit up on main 1, only on main 2, which doesn't surprise me because, again, we know that track rider's got track and time over there. So we're going to skip ahead a little bit. Really neat spot there for photography, though. Oh, and it looks like, well, we've got some construction. We've got a flagman and a 1-lane road ahead of us. So I'm glad we did the roll by where we did, because now we're going to get stopped, at least for a little bit anyway. But we will we will continue east, at least to Grand Mound, and see if we can find a westbound train over here that might be waiting for his turn after the container train clears. 62 people watching live. I know this is truly truly captivating YouTube material right here. We're literally waiting. They're working on the Highway 30 bridge, over the Wapsipinicon River between Wheatland and Kalmus. And now we are continuing. It is our turn to go. This was actually the spot of a really bad derailment on the CNW. These bridges over the Wapsi on the right-hand side of me now. We're not going to catch this intermodal train again, I'm sure of that. But I'm really hoping that we're going to catch something going back the other direction now. So we'll see what happens. I really wish that these comments flashed up on the screen longer. They're not getting up there long enough for me to be able to read. It's like I notice that there's a comment and I try to lean in to see it. Hey, we got 61 people watching us though today. Thank you so much to everyone for tuning in. I guess while we're driving along here, I can tell you that part of the reason that I'm out here today is because I was installing more equipment along the line. I installed, so we had a ATCS host site in Mechanicsville that I've converted that over to a HED site. Oh, if you look over here, I don't know how well you can see it, but we're actually catching up with this guy again. He must have had another slow order maybe. I don't know how much further I can slide my phone over to the right to look at it. But we are in fact actually catching up with the train again. And so I'm going to try to give you an angle so you can look through the trees and see. But he is definitely over there and doing less than 50 mile an hour. As we gotta knock our speed down a little bit here as we go through Kelmus, but I think you can just barely see the tops of the containers over the tree line. We are pulling into the town of Kelmus now. That sign for Lost Nation over to the left for any of the Milwaukee Road fans in the group. That was a former Milwaukee Road town on the previous Iowa division. All right. Well, we just about cleared Kelmus. I feel like he's picking up speed again too. I don't know how effectively we're going to be able to catch him. But we are seeing more train over here to the right. It's just a little ways further back from the track than what I might otherwise enjoy seeing. But this is kind of a neat spot. I don't know if you can tell from the phone here or not, but he's actually stretched out in a spot now where I can see the whole train. I've got the rear kind of straight across from my passenger window, and the head end is way up ahead of us, and I think I saw headlights up there. I think we might actually have something. I thought that I caught a glimpse of headlights up in front of us. We may have a westbound to start chasing back the other direction now. It's very possible. Not seeing it now, which is unfortunate. No, I do see it. There are headlights over there. I'm just making it out over the horizon. There is definitely a westbound train going through Grand Mound at this moment. What is it? Can we tell what it is? I may be pulling over at the top of this hill to try to evaluate what I'm seeing. Ooh, actually, it's another container train going the other direction. So we're going to turn around right here in this farmer's driveway. We learned our lesson on this last time. I am not going to get skunked on this westbound. I'm not going to get skunked on this westbound. I'm going to get ahead of him now. All right, we're turning around headed back the other direction because we have a westbound that is cruising right along. I'm guessing it's another Z train. And I will get you some engine numbers as soon as I get in a position to be able to do that. But right now, we got to get out to the other side of Calmus to be able to get ahead of this guy. So he's going to have to, I mean, I suppose those welders could have set off, but I doubt that, just based on what I saw earlier. The welders are probably still out there working, which means that this guy is going to cross over. He's on 1 right now. He's going to have to cross over 1 to 2 at West Calmus. In order to go around the welders that were working on the west side of Loud. Which means that he's going to get down to 40. We're going to have a chance to do a roll by, let him cross over, and then get ahead of him again. This is going to work out really slick. Let's see here. I'm going to go, so there's a gravel road crossing that's actually right by the crossovers. I'm going to head down to that on the other side of Calmus. And then we will turn and burn and get out ahead of them again. And we'll roll this guy by on the westbound side. Well, again, the gods of rail fanning have smiled benevolently down upon us today. We literally got a eastbound to chase from Mechanicsville almost to Grand Mound, and then as we were approaching Grand Mound, we found a westbound to chase, which is what we're working to get ahead of right now, or stay ahead of right now so we can roll and by. I am going to, but there's that flag man. Ooh, we got to remember the flag man. We got to stay ahead of him. We can't do a roll by here. Sorry, guys. Oh, and he's actually just about caught up to me. But we can't do the roll by here because of the flag man. So while he's doing 40 through those turnouts, we'll be waiting our turn to go back across the Highway 30 bridge at Wapsie. And then we'll roll him by on the other side of Wheatland, see what he's got in his train. All right. So as we continue on our trek westward here, we're coming up to the flag crossing, and it looks like there's at least one truck stopped ahead of me. So we're going to be waiting at least for a little bit once we get up here. But that is all right. We will make it work. A couple of motor coaches there. It says Bolton and Menk survey crew. I don't know what exactly we're surveying, but as we continue here, we are coming up here closer. I have, in fact, finished my lunch. A couple of wonderful slices of pizza and a chocolate chip cookie. So if you're out here rail fanning in the area, make sure and check out the Clarence Sun Stop. Great place for a snack when you're out rail fanning. All right, we have a slow. We are continuing right through, no stopping. This is perfect. What great timing. cruise right through, past the bridge crew. The train has not passed us yet. We're going to be able to get up on the overpass, watch his head end go by, and then still get ahead of him on the other side. This is going to work out phenomenally. And then when we get back to Clarence, I'm probably going to break off the chase. That's probably about be the end of the program for us. But we are coming up on the overpass here. Again, another fantastic rail fanning location. There's nobody coming up behind me. Turn on the hazards, because I'm sure that they've stopped traffic going the other way. Although I don't see our train. I was expecting the train to catch up with us, and it hasn't done that yet. Where's he at? Where's he at? How close is he? Come on, buddy. Where are you at? Oh, there he goes. All right. I'm going to hold this. I can zoom in for you a little bit. And you're going to see him. He's just ducking underneath the highway right now. And now, coming out the other side. We're going over top of the highway. He has in fact crossed over from 1 to 2. Try to angle this a little better so that everyone can see what's going on. The chase is back on as we navigate our way back through the town of Wheatland, going the other direction. Make sure and watch our speed so that we do not engage the ire of the Cedar County Patrol. All right, so what have we got for head end power up here? How fast are we going to have to go to get ahead of this guy? Let's see. He's accelerating, but he's going a little bit uphill also. As we get up here, he's got the 6425 as the leader, followed by the 9824, which is another GE repaint, and then the 7787 as the third unit. So I'm going to try to read these off quick and see. The first one, C44, yeah, C44 AC, and then the next one is also a C44 AC, well, ACM. So a couple of C44 ACMs, and then the last one is a C45 CCTE. And we're pacing him right now at about a solid 55 miles an hour. Probably another Z train, although we'll find out for sure as we get to the rear of his consist. Again, more More refrigerated containers. We've got a hub group temperature controlled reefer right on the front end here. XPO Logistics, EMP, Swift, another hub group refrigerated right on the head end. Schneider, yeah, there's actually, so the first 3-pack has 2 hub group refrigerated containers. The second 3-pack also has 2 hub group containers. I guess I should clarify. So the intermodals, they come in singles and 3-packs and 5-packs. And that's just the number of, that's just telling you the number of cars that have articulated couplers and sharing axles with them. So I think this guy might have an approach diverging as well. That's fascinating. So he might be crossing back over on the other side. We'll see what happens here. He might literally be crossing right back over from 2 to 1 on the other side of Loudon. Back up to the Loudon siding, you can see the absolute for departing the Loudon siding there. Yeah, he's knocking down his speed now. He's down. So lots of 53-foot containers here. One of the things that's interesting also that I find is that on the sides of some of these the well cars, you'll actually see markings. And it shows you 40 over 20 is the first marking, which shows you that that is where you would have one 40-foot container or 2 20s side by side. And then the next marking is 45, and then 48, and then 53. And it shows you, depending on the size of the container that you have, exactly how wide that container or how much of the well that container is going to take up. CSX, How Tomorrow Moves, another boxcar logo. Coming up beside us here. Welcome to Loudon as we do split away from the track for a short distance here as we go through Loudon and then come back together on the other side. And coming up to the John Deere dealership on the west side of Loudon. You can see it looks like our welders with their boom truck are still working out here on the west side of Loudon as well. So we'll be able to tell pretty easily up here if these guys are crossing over. It might actually have a really neat effect as he crosses over if it's literally happening right in front of us. Last time we got kind of the side view and you saw the locomotives bounce a little bit as they go through the frogs. It does look like he's got a diverging clear. Red over green for diverging clear from 2 back over to 1. So we'll see if we can kind of capture the essence of what this crossover looks like. If you can make out that signal, it's very clear now. It's red over green. I don't mean that as a dad joke, like it's very clear, it's a diverging clear. No. But as you watch on the other side here, you're going to see his head end hit the crossovers. There he goes, and then just ever so gradually diverge over to the right as he continues his journey. So we're going to keep going along here. Let's see here. I guess I'll get ahead of him a little bit. And then we'll roll them by. There's a crossover, or a crossing, gravel road crossing up ahead. And we'll do a proper roll by at the gravel road crossing, and then we're at 51, almost 52 minutes, so that'll probably be the end of the program. But this has been a ton of fun. Thank you to I believe we had a peak of about 60 or 61 people online with us today. So thank you everyone for tuning in. And we're not going to have Trackside with Tom next week. I'm going to be on vacation with the kids. Next week is spring break for us, and we're going to Wisconsin Dells. So family is pretty excited about that. And we will be taking the week off from Trackside next week, coming back in 2 weeks with another episode, and I certainly hope that everyone is able to come back and join us at that time. And now I am going to pull over. We have a gravel road crossing right here with some crossing gates. We're going to pull right over here. The gates are coming down. Oops, there we go. And we're going to see this entire roll by. In case you're wondering, we're at Cedar County Road, between Clarence and Wheatland, or Clarence and Loudon right now. And we are rolling by this westbound intermodal train. A lot of the same types of cars, Hub Group, STG, Logistics. There were the reefers on the head end, but I'm seeing mostly just standard containers here toward the rear. UMAX, Swift, Schneider, more Hub Group. Pacer stack train. That car is bouncing quite a bit as it went by. That's interesting. Might have to check the wheel set on those. Here comes some distributed power. We have the 6060 and the 5728, or 5725, sorry, for DPUs. CR England, Martin, and here are the containers, or the trailers. There's 3 trailer on flat car right there in the middle, and then some spine cars. And a couple more. So that's an unmarked white reefer trailer, some UPS, ABF freight. There's a Pacer stack train on a spine car, and there's another one on a wheel chassis. That's interesting. And here comes the rear. So this is the end of our train. Coming up in about 3 more cars. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. That is going to be the end of our program today. And you can see the gates are just about to come up. So appreciate all the support, and we will definitely catch you guys in 2 weeks. Thanks for coming out, checking out the program.